One thing we have talked about since the beginning of the WNBA season is how bad officiating was, how inconsistent everything has been. Just the other day, Natasha Cloud addressed it in the press conference after the game. She had receipts. She read off a couple of stats.
They shot 16 free throw attempts. We shot 4. Yep. BG shot 2. How many shot attempts does she have?
It just is not adding up. And everyone wants to know why Phoenix Mercury has the most attempts in the league is because the games are not being called equally on both ends of the floor. Whatever happens, but it needs to be addressed. And this isn't the first time we're talking about it. And we're not the first team to talk about it. We're not the first players to talk about it. And at some point, the W has to be serious about this.
And you know, if we as fans are bitching and moaning about it, you know the players got to feel some kind of way. And I remember when the whole physical play, hard play, were people coming for Caitlin Clark, when that whole discussion was super hot and heavy in the beginning. And admittedly, I was thinking that too. Then I had to go back and watch some tape, look at what they did in seasons before. And then you realize it's not like that. It's always been physical play. The hard fouls and handsy, very physical basketball has always been the case. It just got more attention because it was Caitlin Clark. Now, what does that mean as it pertains to Natasha Cloud's comments? They are calling these games so inconsistently, it's not funny. And in my opinion, as a fan and as a rookie fan, it's the first year I've been really paying attention to the WNBA. It's a bad look because it looks like the game is ridiculous. It looks like the refs don't know what to call. It looks like you just called a foul on one end of the court. The other team did the exact same thing and there was no call. The game last night between Indiana and Connecticut, there was a foul against Dejanay Carrington. Then the exact same play on the other end of the court with Nalissa Smith was not called a foul. And literally they were the same play. Somebody established in position underneath the basket. They both were kind of moving their feet. One was called a charge. The other one wasn't. One was reviewed. The other one wasn't. From my look, it was the same exact play. There are more egregious plays that you could bring up and look at that just shows how inconsistent these referees are. Now, I know a lot of these refs in the WNBA have NBA experience. For whatever reason, they swallow the whistle when they should blow it. And then they, other end of the court, immediately they're calling ticky-tack fouls. You got somebody standing there with their hands straight up in the air, don't move. And because they get close to the other player, they'll call the foul. And it's like, okay, if you're going to call it like that, just be consistent. And that is the one thing they are not. As a matter of fact, that's the only thing they've been consistent at is their inconsistency. And finally, somebody spoke out after a game. Maybe she'll get fined. I don't know. But this is not a good look, especially now that the WNBA is mainstream. The last thing you want is fans looking at your game like these refs don't know what they're doing. This game looks ridiculous. That's how people lose interest. And that's how people not want to put their money down, whether they're going to the game, whether they're buying merch, or whether they want to bet on the game, because everybody knows betting brings in a lot of cash. So you want that revenue coming in. And if the game looks like it is not consistent, or it is these refs are acting a little bit suspect, WNBA is mainstream now. So they got to be able to play the game and call the games fairly. Half the stuff about these fouls and how people are treating certain players, you would not have these issues if the refs would just blow the damn whistle. It's one thing to try to go at somebody and try to intimidate and set a tone, but it's a whole nother set of circumstances when you're trying to do that and you already got 3 fouls in the first half or the first period. So it makes people change their game plan and pump the brakes on the aggressiveness and play a little more finesse basketball so you can let the game flow and kind of get into the rhythm of what they're going to do and the game plans and the strategy and things of that nature. When you know how the refs, when you trust that the refs know what they're doing. And right now, it doesn't look like the WNBA refs know what they're doing.